difficult sometimes. None of these ever get any real usage. Yeah, it's pretty much out of oil. So when we go to get the battery, we need to get some oil too while we're at it. Wouldn't be a bad idea, just change the whole thing. Let's go talk to the homeowner and tell him what we got going on. All right, so he said, get it. Let's get it. All right, it looks a little bit better now. We picked up 2 quarts, only needed about, just a little over half a quart. So we're gonna leave that and the extra one here for the customer. A lot of people don't realize that these things are air cooled, so they use oil up. If it's liquid cooled, it wouldn't use as much oil. But we're gonna clean up this mess. He said this happened after a PM or somebody left a cover off or something crazy. So we're gonna clean up this mess, and that way at least tell if it's something new or old or what. Probably ain't gonna be able to tell today, but at least we're making an attempt to make it right. Yeah, this thing doesn't feel like it's been ran a whole lot. Chances are, even though it's got 140 hours, this thing's probably had the oil changed 3 times, and it's probably not had any real hours on it at all. But that's here nor there. So let's get this battery in here. We can do a quick check on it too while we're at it. All right, on the 510 cold cranking, which is just a touch under what it's technically rated at, came in right at 511, and so the internal resistance 5.4 milliohm. Got the battery hooked back up. Everything's cleaned up down there. Caps and stuff are all in tight. Let's run this thing and see what we get. We'll get this set up so we can check the frequency and stuff with it while it's running. Here we go. Cranks a little faster. Still high RPM. You can tell it is. At least it sounds like it is. Yeah, we're running 65 hertz. That's not good. And it's slowly building up. Exactly what the module said. Well, our resistance is within 1 ohm, and they're all equal. So I'm going to say it's something in the wiring for that part. The only thing left is the module. There just ain't a whole lot you can do with it there. So I'm gonna double check with the factory, but that's where it's leaning towards with me, unless we got a choke or something sticking here, which don't look like it is. Watch that and see what it does. Had somebody message down in the comments of another video. It says, I'm an idiot because they don't have chokes on gas, you know, natural gas and propane. What do you got against diesel? Well, that right there, my friend, is a choke. You're choking it. No fuel, no air, so you're choking it. Choke, choke, choke. Yeah, I mean, unless that servo is just, I mean, it's not even trying to adjust. It's just staying there. All right, so what I found out is when we unhook the filter, the frequency goes normal. I ran it with 1 cylinder on the front, 1 on the back. I checked my gapping here, see what kind of spark I was getting. I got every bit of 10,000. The front was getting 15,000. The rear barely could get maybe 12,000. So I've got pretty strong spark. I'm gonna pull these spark plugs out and look at them real quick. It's just really wacko that it decides to work like that. I did check all down in here to see if there's any air leakages. I checked the gas pressure. We're at 12 inches. It ran steady at that, but it just kept still, when it was all back together, it was acting dumb and wanting to do 65, 67 hertz. One time it even went up to 70. But with it like this, it runs fine, which is totally screwballed. We're gonna yank those plugs out. All right, so good old engine issues as usual. Get some oil on there on that one. Now it looks like crap. Unbelievable. You've already got oil back here and stuff. I wonder, are we leaking somewhere else or did we really blow it off? Let's check our compression, see what we got here. Let's go ahead and kill the fuel. Yep. Okay, let's see what we got here. 150 pounds. That sucks. Usually it's 190 or better, I thought, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's 145. Okay, let's check our front here. It's over 30 pounds differential. Barely hit 150 on the one, so we've got another one with our rears all jacked. So we're gonna go ahead and check the valves here, see how they are. This happens way too often to not be a problem. 100 and some odd hours. So pop it and do a valve check on it, see what we got. Everybody talks about, set the valves, set the valves, set the valves. Half the time it's never the valves. So we'll do a pressurization of it and we'll find out if it's leaking through the rings or what the hell's going on with it. Chances are it's probably the freaking rings. It's happened more than once. Our valve clearance there should be 0.002 to 0.004. So here is 4, there's 3. I've made some adjustments here to it. 4 kind of hits. 3, I can slide it right through there. Same side with this one here. Well, could earlier. 0.03, slides right through there. Same thing here, slides through. Here's 0.04. That goes right through no problem, which is a little too much. That one just hits. So this one here, I'm gonna cheat. You're not supposed to do it like this. Kind of give it a little wiggle. Four hits, so 0.03. Goes through no problem. All right, let's go ahead and check our compression on that cylinder and see how it is. I guarantee you it probably won't make a damn bit of difference. This is the reason why I don't screw with this. So we went top dead center there. That's how we got it. Down, up, boom, compression stroke up. Okay, there's that. Here we go. All right, fuel's off. Let's go ahead and crank it over. Hopefully everything don't fall. Can leave the cover off so we can play with it some more, but here we go. Ready? Still 150. That's the reason why I don't screw around with valve adjustments, because usually don't do you no good. So anyhow, I think what we got here is we're gonna have a ring issue here. Done this before, and I think the last one was bad on the back too. So we can go ahead and do a blowdown test on it and see what we get, and we can see where it's leaking at. Front, rear, top, bottom. I haven't tried this setup with this new regulator I've got here. It may not work right with it, but with a traditional regulator it has worked in the past. What I usually do is we've got this one here. Unfortunately, like you say, you can't just set it wherever you want it at. Okay, yeah, it should work out. So we crank it up. Sometimes they tell you to go 90. The guy that did our class told us to go 100. So, and you want to set go to set there. So yeah, this may not work very good. You want to just zero out our gauge there. Yeah, this regulator may not work very good. All right, let's go ahead and hook it up and see what we get. There we go. Oh, wow. Another junk set of rings. Or the valves, one or the other. But yeah, it's either way, it's nothing I'm gonna fix. We don't tear engines apart. So they can either buy a new engine or have a small engine mechanic redo it. I'm an HVAC and refrigeration guy, not a small engine guy. I can work on them, but that's not what I specialize in. And when you start getting into all these other different things, that's when you become not good at it. So either way, like I said, it worked better the last time, but like I said, see, that can happen. That's when you ain't perfectly dead center, and then it'll do that. But I should have went slower, but either way, it was leaking pretty bad. It shouldn't have done that. We'll do it one more time here, make sure we're top dead center. Yeah, I think we're in there. Now, some guys, they can get in there with a wrench. Get on the engine front piece there. You gotta take off that screen on the front. Maybe that would be easier. I've always just done it from here. There. That right there is about up, down. So you got to be right perfectly in the middle there. I usually push down really hard on it to try to know that I'm there. You can tear it apart and replace whatever, but like I said, that's just not what we do. All right, I put the valve cover gasket back on, see if that helps distinguish if it's coming from the intake, exhaust, or through the piston rings.